Hello, good evening. Welcome to the ARW transfer window. Everything's gone to shit. It's all gone crazy special. I feel a couple of dad jokes coming on before we start. I'll get them out of the way. Really delighted that we've signed a box to Ox midfielder. If there's any justice in the world, we will be signing Lemar. Van Dijk needs to get on his bike. We're getting rid of the div that is Origi. And we are still none the wiser as to what's going on with the poison dwarf with the sore back. So, guys, have we signed our Rambo in Chambo?
Well, I'm off, lad. See you now.
Good luck. It was nice knowing you.
Cheers, Phil.
This. boop, boop, boop. The line is pretty bad there, fucks.
Yeah, sorry about that. We'll edit this bit out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what do we think of the signing then, fellas?
Which one, Rambo?
Yeah, Rambo.
AOC.
Fuck you with your AOC.
To play beside TAA and VVD.
Actually, my wife heard us talking before I came on air, and I genuinely got a text message from upstairs saying, "Don't fucking call him the Ox."
Why would that be? Yeah.
Oh dear! So he's getting his full name. Can we just call him Alex? So much easier.
Alex, yeah, the former Southampton player with I'm convinced it's all part of just softening out Southampton just for the big.
Well, I'm sure it's not, but they're getting money, aren't they? Isn't it like 8 to 10 million they're getting as a sell-on or something?
Just before we get stuck into this, I have to say, fuck Matt Letizia. I'm going to put that out there.
He's a twit.
He's a twit. Matt Letizia.
Just in general.
Absolutely, like the sly digs that he's been having. Well, they're not sly. Sorry, they've been blatant.
Oh, they're subtle as a block through a window.
Can't sign a current Southampton player, so sign a former Southampton player. Motherfucker, we've signed your whole squad. So shut the fuck up and get back in your box.
It genuinely would have been cheaper to just buy Southampton.
It would, and go full on Red Bull on it. No, they're not heirs. No, they're called they're called Liver Schmool FC.
Liverpool South.
Liverpool South, yeah. Well, we have the Anfield of London, don't we?
That's it. Asif, how do you feel about Ox? We've dwarfed the conversation so far, buddy. So we'll let you come in.
I think he's a good signing, mate. I think he is. I mean, he had a lot of potential, didn't he? When he went from Southampton to Arsenal, he's obviously stagnated over the last 2 or 3 years. But then we are talking about Arsenal and stagnation. I'm quite more than happy with it, to be honest. I think we need a stronger squad. I think he's quick. He adds some pace to the team. I'm not exactly sure where he's going to play, but
I was going to ask that. Where does he play?
I have no idea. I I assume he can play on the wing if needed. In the centre of midfield, maybe a lot tougher to get into, I guess, with Henderson, Chan and Genie, but then with Henderson's injuries, you just never know. I think he's a great addition to the squad. I think I read somewhere that he's taken a 60 grand a week pay cut or something. He's always.
I think the story goes just on the money that he had turned down 180 grand a week from Arsenal for a new contract. It was 200 and something plus from Chelsea, and he turned them down. And his wage with us is rumoured to be 125 million.
Mate, the best part
125 grand. Thousand, not million. Fucking hell.
Jesus. Chelsea's rubies aren't that worth that much.
You know what? It's actually interesting. Before we get into some listeners' questions, this is actually a topic that one of our regular listeners, Bill Quirk, wanted to ask, and Asif was just getting stuck into it there. The perceived way in which we think Klopp will utilise Chambo.
Yeah, I've always thought that he's one of these players that's going to be a perfect addition to the bench. And that's no disrespect to the guy, but in the fact that he covers so many positions, he's always the type of guy that I can see when we're kind of chasing a game. He's kind of like a kind of sort of not a wild card, but someone that we'll just turn to. He's definitely raw, but there's a lot of attributes to his game there. Like he's fast, he's strong, he's good, and he's decent in the air. He's a good dribbler of the ball. His crossing is a bit suspect, but then again, he was playing at Arsenal, so that's not going to help the situation. I just like how driven the guy is and how the story goes. Not going all Robbie Keane, but he was a Liverpool fan as a kid, so There's definitely that emotional attachment, and I think he's just realised the fact that he's turned down the league champions to come join us is we have to look at that as a huge positive, because I know I was tweeted about it earlier, but it's not that long ago where Brendan Rodgers was getting Stevie just to start texting around targets, and they would go, yeah, no thanks, you're a good player, but good luck. So the fact that we now have players turning down league champions, turning down more money elsewhere for the draw playing for Liverpool again, that can only be a good thing.
It's funny you guys say that, because I was at Anfield on Sunday, and I turned around to the missus and I said to her, as the You Never Walk Alone was going on before the match and Oxlade was warming up there, I said, how on earth can that guy call himself a Liverpool fan if he is going to turn us down to go to Chelsea after standing there and just looking around and just listening and taking this in?
So what you're saying is
the game, to be
our fans are responsible for him joining us?
Well, no, partly, yeah, because Liverpool is one big family, and
it was us singing.
Would you rather play in front of that or someone just shouting Chelsea a million times? So
I seen somebody.
Well, do you know what? Sorry, go on.
I seen somebody post something earlier on. I believe it was a journalist, but I honestly cannot remember which one. So maybe somebody can correct me or pull me up on it. But they described Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as basically the new age James Milner, and I just thought it was a pretty decent way of summing him up. To be fair,
workhorse that can play in lots of different positions. It's not a bad squad utility player, is it?
Well, I think he's got a lot more potential than that, though. I mean, I think there's so much in there. I mean, there's pace, there's dribbling. He's got an explosive shot on him, and it's like most people at Arsenal, they just seem to stagnate. London, the bright lights, big wages, blah 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 blah. Put it another way, if Klopp can't get the best out of Ox, then nobody will. And if Klopp does get the best out of Ox, squad player, first team player, whatever he's going to be, he'll be an asset to the squad, because it's not about the first 11. It's not about where he fits in on there. Surely it's about the first 16 or 18 or whatever it is. And I think he's touch wood. I think he'll prove a good signing if he can stay fit.
Very good. Good. Yeah, very good point. Couldn't agree anymore. Jonathan, you were talking about the days of Brendan Rodgers, and I was just looking on Sky earlier on. I think is it Billericay Town? Is that club that some guys after buying...
the crazy lunatic with the fucking dodgiest dressing rooms I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but you're looking around and you've seen fucking Paul Konchesky in the dressing room and Jermaine Pennant, and I just thought,
and Jamie O'Hara.
Jesus Christ.
Those was the days.
Remember when we were back there and we were looking at, you put it up, I think, Jonathan, the other day, a tweet up saying it could be worse, like, do you remember these days? And now we're here complaining about Lemar and Oxlade-Chamberlain, and it's fucking ridiculous.
But is it like put it this way, we're after signing a player for 35 million, and I won't say it's like meh, whatever, but all we're thinking about is, when are we going to get Lemar? When are we going to get Van Dijk? It's no longer just the big hurrah.
It is crazy, isn't it? Because I mean, even earlier in this window, somebody spending 35 million would have got you pretty excited, or spending it on a player. So I think you're absolutely right. I think the excitement that everyone's being swept up in at the minute because of Van Dijk and Lemar, it's kind of, I feel a bit sorry for him, because this transfer is kind of blended into the background a little bit.
Mm. Keita's nearly fucking being just brushed over.
It's just the way, isn't it?
That's an incredible piece of business.
It is an awesome piece of business. It really is.
Mate, do you know what? And that's where the shock horror and the owners actually do deserve credit. And you have to give them credit for that. There's a lot of things that you don't give them credit for, but at the end of the day, they were the guys that brought in Klopp. They were the guys even before that gave us back the king for a bit, despite the way they ended that all. But yeah, the Keita deal is actually a freaking good deal, even though it is for next season. So, credit where it's due.
Has anybody else noticed a huge disparity between the amount of this extra money we're supposed to have paid? I've heard everything from 3 million to 20 million on top of the 48 million buyout.
Yeah, well, what happened there is nobody has a clue and everybody's guessing.
Either way, getting him one way or the other, is a very good deal, because he is a very, very good player.
I'm going for the 3 million option in my head. We only paid 51 million. That works for me.
Not £1, no.
No, 51 million. That was it. We told him to get fucked. It was a tremendous piece of business, though, I have to say, because we all thought he was going to Bayern Munich.
We did, yeah. And if Bayern Munich had done this deal, everybody would be lauding them. So credit where credit is due. FSG have done well on this deal.
Again, I think this is kind of blended into the background again because of all the excitement that's kind of going on and the names that people are looking for, and the fact that it's some. I mean, I know he doesn't come till next season, but it's still come sort of at the crazy end of the transfer window where everybody's watching the new. I mean, Sky Sports hasn't been off my TV. Everybody's refreshing Twitter. I think we've all got repetitive strain injury in our thumbs because everybody from the second we wake up, from the second we go to sleep, and if you wake up in the night, you check it then as well, is on the phone checking what the hell's going on.
And I think, again, just go back slightly, sorry, mate, to butt in there. It's Jurgen fucking Klopp. It's all Jurgen fucking Klopp. It really, really is. We wouldn't be doing all this excitement, all this everything else, the way we're playing. Yes, we've got problems in defence. But Jesus Christ, we're taking some of these really good teams for the last year and a half to be absolute frigging cleaners. If we could keep that clean sheet, if we did have a, 6'6" centre-back from Southampton, Dutch guy or whatever, how good could we potentially be? We're all tweeting away, we're all, whatever. All these Lemar. Bottom line is, Brendan Rodgers couldn't even talk Gylfi Sigurdsson into joining us. We've got a hell of a manager. Sorry, I just had to say that because
you're absolutely right.
Yep. Yeah, I can't underestimate that. And I just see something there earlier as well. Obviously, Chamberlain's in the England squad at the moment, and you have Henderson. He's friendly with Henderson, Lallana. I know he's probably not in the squad there, and friendly with Sturridge as well. And they've all put glowing references of how good it is to work under Klopp, and that's another aspect that's swung the deal in our favour. Like, we are blessed to have Klopp. As much as I just hate the guy, Piers Morgan, you have to laugh at some of his tweets there after the game. He's like, I told you we should have got Klopp at the time when he was available. I told you, now you're listening to me now. But you look how stale Arsenal have become.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you look how positive and bright, and the whole, like, from being at the game there Sunday, and just in general everywhere, there's that buzz, that positivity. Everyone left the ground on Sunday, and you could just feel the positive energy around the place. It was just a special feeling.
Mate, do you remember what it felt like when I think we were playing Northampton or something in the Carling Cup or whatever it was? Yeah. And I think even games or months after that, you just didn't know where the next goal was coming from. It was so bad. I think we scored one goal. I think Benteke got a header against, it might have been Southampton at Anfield or something. And you thought, yeah, we scored a goal.
It almost feels like a different club, doesn't it? So for me, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day about the Rodgers era, and I was also trying to remember the Hodgson era. But if I'm completely honest, I think my brain has actually blocked that out to save me the trauma because I couldn't remember a great deal about it. Craig, is this all Klopp? Is this the? I mean, I appreciate that Klopp is responsible for the style of football as well, or do the backroom team upstairs, do they deserve any credit for these deals?
I think Klopp has come out and said he'd be nothing without his backroom staff. It is a unit that makes everything tick. But just touching back on Klopp again, there's two things I'll never forget when he signed. I seen a tweet where somebody said, "How happy are you that Jurgen Klopp has signed? Statue in the bedroom or call your penis Jurgen?" And I'll never forget that tweet as long as I live, because I was thinking definitely calling my penis Jurgen. Definitely, without a doubt, that was being done. And then
the little German.
You were talking about the little schnitzel. You were talking about the wages earlier on, but like in my head, it's all like, yeah, you can go to Chelsea and have 180 grand a week, or you can come to Liverpool and have 125 grand a week on a Klopp hug. You know what you want.
That's definitely worth some money.
What about that myth that everybody wants to play in London? Eh?
Well, yeah. Well, look how it worked out for Sanchez.
Well, Sanchez has ruined that myth altogether, hasn't he?
Yeah. Has anyone seen that tweet about him not being able to perform in the bedroom? I think there's a picture of him and his missus, and then I think somebody says, well, what the fuck do you expect when Wenger has him carrying out the job of 11 men or something? And it was yeah.
I think you have to say, it's, as Jonathan touched on, it's like a different club, Phil. We have completely rebuilt ourselves from the lows that we had. And you have to say, you have to give credit to the ownership to a degree as well. But they did. And they're backing their man. So everything for once is going in the right direction for Liverpool and us.
I think the credit where FSG is, and I think this is a misconception slightly, is that what they make or what they get from the club, they do generally put it back in, bar the Suarez cash, really. But generally they do. So this money that they're putting in now, I mean, they're probably getting it from the Coutinho sale, dare I say. It's you've got that they're not. I mean, they do put back into the club generally what the club makes. So in that sense, most definitely, I think the frustration is it's always sell to buy, one in, one out, one in, one out.
Do you know what? I mean, that could change tomorrow.
No unhappiness on this pod. Now, fuck that. This is a celebration.
I'm going to wait and see what happens.
We're sticking with that, but we're waiting to see what happens. I'm
going to wait and see what happens tomorrow. I really am, because I think tomorrow could be a very, very big or a very disappointing day for us. Because there's all these names being linked. I think we've got to get on with it now. I mean, there's talk, for example, I think the Echo have just put something out as well, just shortly before we came on air, that the Lemar deal is close, but it's not close enough that you can consider it done. The deal isn't done with Monaco, although it's close with the player, and that Liverpool are now starting to play hardball a little bit. I think there was a midnight deadline set at some point to say, take it or leave it, here's the offer that's on the table. Hopefully it's better than when Barca did take it or leave it, when we reject 3 offers and then they say, right, take it or leave it. I think they completely misunderstood that tactic.
Can we be completely blunt about the Coutinho situation? Like, we're skirting around it. Asif just about touched on it there. There's 2 different theories on this, lads, isn't there? And it's up to you, I suppose, which one you subscribe to. There's the theory that he's not for sale and the club are sticking to their guns, and some of the journalists that have said all along and slagged people off on Twitter and said some fans need to recognise that the words not for sale is not for sale, something along those lines, or...
Definitive,
that's it. Or you have the other people who are saying that all along a deal has been done for Coutinho behind the scenes. He's agreed to go to Barcelona on the 1st of September because the Spanish window was open until 11 or midnight on the 1st of September. And that the club wanted to get our business done without getting their pants pulled down any more than they're going to for doing it late in the window. With clubs
all the stress and bother that comes from the fans doing it. Because if they sold Coutinho before we had players through the door, people would riot.
Exactly.
And then they're going to have to worry about what the fans are doing rather than signing new players.
So I think it's up to each individual supporter which side of that they want to see, and it's not for us to say. We have our own beliefs and our own thoughts on the subject, but surely it boils down to one of them too.
I mean, let's try and stay positive, though. I mean, at the end of the day, this is coming from Anfield Talk, by the way, I get accused of being anything but, which perplexes me sometimes, is at the end of the day, who gives a damn? If we are selling Coutinho, which I think we are, and I do subscribe very much to the theory that this deal was done a while ago, we are actually getting probably a better squad after him going. You can, if we get Lemar and Van Dijk, if he goes and we don't get those 2, well, mate, I think FSG there might just be some riots.
They're going to be in trouble.
But from what I gather, by many account, I think Van Dijk probably will get done tomorrow, and I think Lemar might already be done by some accounts. So I mean, who gives a shit? Who gives a flying monkeys at the end of the day? I think whatever date they decided to sell Coutinho, because ultimately the squad is going to be that much better for it, really. I mean,
it's going to be interesting if he stays, isn't it? Because I mean, I mentioned attitude a couple of times this week on the other pods, but like you've just signed Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who apparently is a boyhood Red, so he's going to be excited to be there. You know, if you sign Van Dijk, this deal's been going for a long time. He's going to be excited to be there. You get Lemar, he's a very young, exciting player who's going to be excited to be there because by all accounts, he's helping push this deal through. Now, that's the very best case scenario. You imagine adding Phil back into that changing room and back into that squad, who's just caused a load of shit for us, handed in transfer requests the day before big games. You know, he hasn't shown the club any respect. We said this the other day. I wouldn't want to be him walking into training when everyone else has got a real buzz about them because of our results and the new signings, and he's the one bugger with a miserable face.
Well, mate, I think he's upset Klopp, hasn't he? That really is the bottom line. I think what happened most likely is exactly as you just said. You know, he told Klopp one thing and then he broke that trust. I think as Sacco found out, you don't get that back. So I don't care if he was the happiest guy in the world. I think he probably would have been the most unhappiest guy in the world after 2 weeks of being back in the squad, because he'd be blistering his butt on the bench. Because Klopp does not seem to forgive, and fair dues to him for that, to be honest. Because I think that was part of his, when I think the upset, or when he was upset a few weeks ago, was that you could see that Coutinho had broken his trust and he was very, very hurt.
There's a question actually that came in that I want to put to everyone, I suppose, while we're here. Dean Forward wants to know, with the signings we're making, and we're on the subject now, which is why I'm bringing it up, do we think Coutinho is out the door? I think a couple of us have pretty much given our views on that. Asif, I think it's fair to say you believe he's gone.
I'd put my house on it.
Phil, where are you
standing? I reckon he's gone. And I still think that's going to cause problems because of the terminology our owners used. Definitive, he is not for sale. Piss off and leave us alone. That bit they didn't say. Not in public anyway.
Wasn't there a picture of John Henry in Barcelona in February watching a match?
I think he was there. Yeah, but see, I don't read much into that because I mean that could be anything. But I think because we could be looking at their players. But I think the point is that I would. Part of me still would like to see him stay because he's a very talented player, and if he can get his head right, I think it'd be fantastic to have him in the squad. But the logical side of my brain is saying he's gone. You can't do this. And I probably am in that camp, Craig, where I think we're getting our signings through the door and then he'll leave on the last day of a Spanish window when ours is closed.
Jonathan, what do you think?
It's hard to see him come back into the fray. It really is. Like guys have mentioned the Zacco example there. The only thing you would say about that is Coutinho's a far better player and would offer a hell of a lot more to the team than Zacco could. The little kid inside me, I've openly said it before on the pod, was my favourite Liverpool player. I just love the way he plays with a smile on his face, or probably did. Yeah, this is kind of all in past tense, isn't it? You look at some of the goals that he got, some of the free kicks, he was turning into a little superstar. But the kind of the older cynical guy inside me says that he's gone. Yeah, and this is all just get the rest of the targets in without the inflated prices. And then, as you guys said, that once the UK market is closed, he goes off to Spain then on the last day. I won't lie, I would still like for him to stay, but I think he's gone.
What do we think happens? So let's play option A and option B. So we've got Ox. Let's say we sign Lemar.
Who? Sorry, is that a new signing?
Chambo, yeah, all right.
Chambo. His name is fucking Chamberlain. Chambo.
Don't call him Chambo. Oh God. Right, it's started already.
Chams.
So he's here, right? Let's say we sign Lemar. We're not that arsed, are we? If Coutinho then leaves the day after, what happens if we don't? What happens if Lemar doesn't sign?
Can I go on this one first, because I didn't actually give my opinion on the Coutinho thing, and this kind of fits into it. For me, as soon as he put that transfer request in, fuck off, Phil. In my head, like bye, see you, don't want to know. That's the way I am with players, and I think there's.
So to Coutinho, right? Not me.
Yeah, if you put in a transfer request, if you get to that stage, there's no problem behind the scenes having words with the manager and saying, look, in your agent saying I want out, get me out, I'm not happy. But once you put that fucking transfer request in and it goes public, to me you can fuck off. Nobody's bigger than the club. I don't care who it is. If we get the right money and if it's on the club's terms, they go. And I think the club have handled this magnificently for a change. Behind the scenes, if he does go, it'll be for a ridiculous amount of money, and money that none of us would have dreamt of 6 months ago.
I think just to answer your question there, though, mate, is if we don't get Lemar, I think that's going to be the big difference between the last time we lost a big player like Suarez, and we didn't replace, and we gave the option to the manager of Balotelli and Ricky Lambert or Eto'o, and Ricky Lambert. If they did the same thing this time, there literally will be like the word riots keeps getting used. So I'm pretty sure that they would not want that to happen. If Coutinho is gone, as many of us think he is, Lemar has to happen. Otherwise, signing Keita for next summer and having it just won't be good enough. It's
too far away. That's the issue with that Keita signing. So that Keita signing as a piece of business is phenomenal. and it's great, and everybody loves it, and everyone's recognizing it and saying that's amazing. And as of next summer, when he joins us, what a player he's going to be for our club. But I think you're right. I think for and I include myself in this when I say this, for the fans who wanted a big summer but were looking at FSG saying, yeah, it's not coming, to get to the end of that window with Alex, with Mo, who's a very good player, with Robertson,
Nominal.
and with Solanke. Yeah, so if those are the players that have come in, but you've sold Phil, and their saving grace is that they signed a good player for next summer, I think that's too far away to be featuring in most fans' minds.
I think
you'll still see this window as a disappointment.
I think we've been too greedy. Up until maybe 3 or 4 days ago, Lemar didn't exist.
True.
But then we thought Coutinho was staying.
No, we had a conversation on the pod a few weeks ago where we said that would we be happy if Coutinho went and we only signed, I think it was
Van Dijk,
Salah
probably.
and Van Dijk or something along those lines. We got one more, and we said not really, it'll be okay. And now we're in a position where we've signed Keita, okay, not for now, but we've signed Keita, we've signed Oxlade-Chamberlain, we've signed Salah, as we said, we've signed Robertson, we've signed Solanke, and we could possibly get Lemar over the line, and Van Dijk, as we've said, will be done. To me, that's just, if we didn't get Lemar, it would be disappointing, but I would personally still consider this a successful transfer window. No matter what happens with Coutinho, how much we get from.
Absolutely, because the Coutinho has gone from a place where he was at times our only superstar to, in my mind, Mane's our most important player at the moment, and Mane has gone miles and miles and miles ahead of him for his importance to the team. So, I think we kind of discussed this the other night. That front three picks itself. There's no doubt about that. And Coutinho isn't getting a look into that front three. So you're looking at 3 positions in midfield, and given the upturn, Henderson is back in decent form. Genie's back in good form. Chan's back in good form. You have Lallana to come back before Christmas. Chamberlain now could take one of those roles. You've Gruish. You've Jimmy. There's options there all of a sudden. Yes, Phil.
You know what? I'm smiling my head off while you're saying this, and the reason I'm smiling is because I'm actually agreeing with everything you've just said, and I'm thinking to myself, Phil Coutinho is having to leave Liverpool to go to Barcelona to get a game.
Yeah.
It's very simple, lads.
I love that.
The question that you have to ask is, are we stronger at the end of the window as a team and a squad than we were at the start? I think that's the simplest way of answering this.
Yeah, and I think we are if we get Lemar. Because I just slightly disagreeing with you there, mate. Is okay, Coutinho. So, for example, we sell him, right? So Salah, you could say, comes in for him. Then it's just Solanke. I mean, the argument has always been that we don't build on what we've got. So, in that sense, if we say Lemar doesn't come in, okay, Coutinho's gone. Okay, Salah's then come in as the attacking option in his place. I think Solanke is he's too young to really say much about, to be honest, just now, as promising as he does sound. I don't think that would be good enough. That's why I was personally, a lot hinges on this Lemar thing. I don't think it's being greedy, because essentially we're just trying to build on what we've got. And if Coutinho is going, I think, you've got to have more than just Salah coming in to replace him, because Ox really is more a midfielder.
Well, I was going to say, I think Ox is going to play more up front. And the reason I say, well, not up front, but certainly on the wings. And the reason I say that is Bobby can play anywhere. We've had this conversation before. But it's believed that the deal is pretty close for Origi to go to Wolfsburg. So if Origi's on his way out, Klopp's comments were more about somebody coming in. So unless there is a player that we don't know anything about that's suddenly going to come out of left field and he's going to be a target for up top, I think that you've got to say that that's Ox, surely.
We've glossed over again, though. We've just glossed over Keita completely in this entire conversation.
Yeah, well, it's because it's so far away. If he was joining up with us after the international break, everybody would be getting his name on the shirt. We wouldn't be shutting up about him. But it's the fact that it doesn't help us this season. And whether or not we are building and improving as a squad.
If I asked you 2 weeks ago, we can sign Keita, but we won't get him until next summer, or we can't sign Keita and he goes to Bayern Munich, it would be the easiest question I've probably ever asked you.
Oh, of course it is, yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm not knocking the signing. I'm delighted about the signing. I agree that there has to be other signings in this window especially if you're selling Phil, for it not to be considered a bit of a flop. Now, I disagree that signing is Lemar. I would love to see Lemar, but I'm also not going to cry myself to sleep if we don't get him. Van Dijk, on the other hand, is the big signing that I've wanted all summer, and actually, that comes off tomorrow, regardless as to whether Lemar doesn't come in. I consider that window a success.
Did you just say if?
Have you boys had the latest rumours on that one?
There's no rumours. He's signing. It's done.
No. The reasons for the delay. Well, apparently it's because of the long promo they're shooting to announce it.
No.
They have to track planes all around the world. Get silver Merc taxis ready.
What's making me laugh is Sky are doing this. Actually, Sky have said for about the past 4 hours that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's medical is currently going on in St. George's Park. What the hell is taking so long with that medical?
He's probably having it with Kirsty Gallagher.
Go on, Asif, if you were saying anyway, mate. Go on.
What was I saying? Can't remember.
Hold up for Van Dijk.
Oh, the rumours. No, I mean, seriously, there've been quite a few tweets today saying that, the delay really is down to the fact that how they're actually going to announce it tomorrow, which apparently is going to be quite epic.
Fucking want to be, wouldn't it?
Mate, over the last 48 hours, I think we've just heard just about everything on Twitter, from, like you just said, Mercedes Watch to Yacht Watch to friggin' crashing, I think, some airline's website or something. Mate, it just goes to show what... It just goes to show what a powerful friggin' force of nature Liverpool Football Club is. Yeah,
but how also how disorganised we are, because effectively we're watching a fishing boat sail around the North Sea, and it's got about 1,000 fans watching it.
Name me another club. I think somebody, was it Shanks? I can't remember who was it that said, if we played a game on the moon, Liverpool fans would find a way to get there to watch it.
Damn right.
And that is why it's so unique and special to love this frigging club. Difference of opinions and whatever else. The passion for the club is just off the frigging charts. It just really is.
We should start a new rumour saying that the delay for Van Dijk is because they're waiting for Peter Jackson to fly over to direct the video for Van Dijk. He's doing a Lord of the Rings style video.
Oh mate, can you imagine? It probably will have, if the creative team have got anything in them, I think it'll start off with some guy getting into a Merc, jumping on a plane, hand gliding down.
You should do like a Mission Impossible style scene where you just got every mode of transport.
Oh mate, I think it was Peter Phillips yesterday that put a picture up of him hand gliding with Matt Letizia kind of hanging off the back or whatever. I can't remember. It was put up yesterday. That was quite
Peter's
fun,
a sound lad. We like Peter. He's a really good guy.
He's a top guy.
Can you imagine? It should be just Liverpool going along, kicking midgets dressed up in Southampton shirts out of the way, and just coming in and grabbing Van Dijk and taking him out.
Oh mate, as long as it happens. I mean, the build up to this transfer is ridiculous. I mean, as long as it happens, you can imagine if there was a leak somewhere tomorrow that he's at Melwood, there's going to be crowds and all sorts. I mean, Twitter.
I don't remember the last time that there was a Liverpool transfer that had this much anticipation and was going on for this long.
Oh mate, people are going to celebrate and go mad tomorrow when it happens. He says, when it happens. Totally agree. When was the last time?
It's fucking beautiful. I'm absolutely loving this. You know that I cannot wait for it to be announced tomorrow. It feels like it's almost like the birth of another child or something. It's absolutely monumental. And the amount of people that are going out in the piss when it happens.
On a serious note, I mean, it is only because we need him so much. And if he is what we all think that he could be and will be, and we cut out all these, obviously he's not going to do it by himself, but if it goes some way towards cutting out these goals from corners and free kicks and whatever else, I mean, just imagine if we cut them out over the last 12 months, how many more points we'd have. Some of the goals we let in are absolutely schoolboy ridiculous. And if he's coming in and as captain, as many are saying, because obviously one of his attributes
he won't be made captain.
I think he will be sooner rather than later. But
he's not going to come in as captain. I think that's disrespectful to the players that are currently there.
I think he's been promised it, but again, we'll see. He can organise the back. He's that genuine leader in that sense. And mate, like I say, we haven't needed a player like him for a long time. You just hope and pray that he actually lives up to what he has become. Because I mean, I'll be honest. There, a few years ago, I think when we beat them 6-0, he was playing, wasn't he? And Sturridge absolutely dropped the shoulder on a few times. See you later, mate. Bang. So
well, that's the thing, isn't it, Jono? I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans are hoping that the second he pulls on his shirt, all of our defensive problems go away. Is there a lot of pressure for him to live up to? We still have 3 other players at the back.
We do, but he's that type of character. I think he will just embrace all that responsibilities on his shoulders. I have to agree. I do see him being the next Liverpool captain as well. I think he could be just an absolute tank at the back for us for the next couple of years. It almost like I hate comparing to the Banks, but that Vidic type player that they had for a rock at the back, which is something we haven't really had since Carragher in his prime. Really, that leader, really. We're too quiet at the back.
Like a big Sammy.
Big Sammy again would be nice. Yeah.
Still needs a fucking haircut though.
Look, I said it again, and I'll repeat it. He can wear pink frilly underwear for all I care if he shores up our defence. And I've no doubt he will. It's just
pink frilly underwear.
Probably. But I've no doubt he will definitely shore up our defence. Whatever. I'm not quite sure if his nighttime or activities, but he's welcome to do whatever he wants if he shores up our defence. Really excited about it. I think it will just it's not just getting the player and all his qualities and everything he'll add to the team. It's that statement. Like Chamberlain was a bit of a statement, taking one under the noses from Chelsea, and by all accounts they're pretty cheesed off with it. But this would be massive. After
really.
like,
do you know what? And it's
definitely a summer long chase. Just
the
to
fans
have
already
him at
love
the
him,
back
don't
there,
they?
and it's just going to be amazing.
The fans already love him because everybody knows that when this move happens, it's been because Van Dijk has pushed it at every single opportunity to get it done. There's no illusions here that he pissed off Southampton. He did his transfer request. He wrote that open letter. He's done everything he possibly can to get this move. And I think he deserves some respect for that. So coming into the club, what's that saying? Don't shit where you eat. Well, he's well and truly shat where he eats. He is just creating the biggest mess he possibly can, so they're forced to let him go. And that, again, is testament to the fact, we were talking about Alex before turning down a big offer from Chelsea and more money to stay at Arsenal to come to us. Van Dijk is captain of Southampton, and he is doing everything he possibly can to come to us. And by all accounts, he's telling everyone else where to go when there is conversations to be had because he wants Liverpool.
Well, here's a question for all you guys. Do you think that any of this would happen if we didn't have the manager that we had?
No.
There you go.
No, he would be at Chelsea or he'd be at Chelsea or City now.
Another question is: so we've blatantly said we're not selling Phil. Southampton have blatantly said they're not selling Van Dijk. Arsenal have blatantly said they're not selling Sanchez. Is it almost a case of somebody waiting to see who blinks first in this scenario?
Yeah.
Because when Southampton let their guard down and say, right, look, when they come out publicly and say, yes, we're selling them, does that then make it easier for our owners to say, we're selling Phil? Are they linked, do you think?
It's an interesting
it'll certainly make it easier because, look, tomorrow, if we get Lemar and of course VVD will be coming in, it will make the bad news on Friday, potential bad news on Friday, a hell of a lot easier.
I think they can hide behind Klopp with this, and I was thinking about this earlier. If you get the signings that you want to make and then we let Phil go, I think it's a case of you could literally say or ask Klopp to say, look, with the players we brought in, the attitude was great. The balance of the squad was really good. I was really pleased with it. Everybody that wanted to be here is here. And ultimately, the player wanted his move. We were made an offer that was decent money for the player. And actually, it was my decision because I thought he upset the chemistry of the squad because of his attitude. I think Liverpool fans would buy that instantly.
Yeah,
hey, totally.
Absolutely,
yeah, totally.
And what about this for a scene, lads? So Silver Taxi pulls up, Mel Wood, Coutinho goes, does his goodbyes to the camera, says goodbye, sad music. Silver Taxi shoots off to John Lennon Airport, waves Phil off. Phil goes in for the double doors, but who's that walking out to the double doors? It's only Van Dijk and Lemar with their suitcases walking into Silver Taxi.
with the music playing, if there's any justice in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 50-50. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I think, like you just said, I think a lot of that, that would depend on if we did make that extra signing. I think because we will have seen to actually have spent that money on somebody, which we didn't do when we sold Suarez.
Is there any shock coming? By the way, there's a few people have asked, do we think there's a shock coming? As in someone we've never thought of. In.
Well, a couple of new names that I heard today. Again, all rumours. So for those that love rumours, I think Mahrez was mentioned as a potential back. If the Lemar didn't come off, some people were saying that Sessegnon might still be on and then loaned back to Fulham. That was another one. I think those were the two. I think the other one was that guy that hugged Klopp after the game. I can't remember his name now. In the Champions League, and he was linked with us straight away.
Top level scouting.
Top level scouting, yeah. It's the German rag for you. I think it was the Build or something. I think he was the other one. I can't. I think some people have mentioned Benzema, but I think that's just a pie in the sky.
Bollocks every window.
After his fucking last performance, he can fuck right off. Did you watch Benzema's last game against Valencia? He missed about 17 sitters.
Oh god. No, he's linked with us every year, isn't he? Every single year.
He's got to go to Arsenal. He's got to go to Arsenal.
Do I think there's a shock coming? No, I don't. I'd be surprised.
I think Lemar is the shock, to be fair.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, because look, up until Sunday, nobody even knew of the player, or definitely didn't know of the link to us.
I had to go at someone about Twitter on that before. I was just not in the mood. This guy was yelling at John Henry and at the official Liverpool account that we hadn't signed Lemar yet. And I just snapped him. It was like 2 days ago, you didn't have a fucking clue who he was. You got Keita in your Abbey picture. Just be happy about that deal for 5 minutes before you moan about the next one.
I seen that and I thought Jesus Phil's been an awful bastard there.
Yeah. Way out of order.
Fuck off.
Completely not what we want associated with this fine podcast.
No, that's fine.
Quick question, lad. Somebody else asked. I just want to scroll through and see who it was here. But basically, the premise of the question was, if we sign Lemar, and of course we are signing Virgil van Dijk, but if we sign Lemar, Virgil van Dijk, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and everybody else, what would we see as our perfect 11 from the signings that we've made with the team that we have? And it's a damn hard and damn fine question to come up with because, as Asif rightly said earlier on, this isn't got to be just the best 11 type scenario. It's a long season.
Just on that, I mean, we're assuming. So it's just coming to my head. There's a lot of talk about Mignolet leaving as well. Still.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I don't think that doesn't appear to be happening this summer.
Well, yeah. Well, apparently that's and Napoli are very interested, but I mean, just to take that into consideration when we talk about our first 11s, really.
I don't think that's happening. I think it's come too late in the day. They may well come back later in the year or next summer, but no. From what I've heard, it's come too late. It's a non-starter, but he wasn't even on our radar, so we didn't even have anybody planned.
It actually came in from a guy called Ado, and it's McCardle Adrian is the Twitter handle. He wants to know about starting 11s. So
let's do it all together then. So Mignolet in goal, if he's there.
Yeah. I'd even go with Mignolet at the moment over Carries, even though I'm not a fan of Mignolet at all. But yeah, Mignolet.
So 2 centre backs, Van Dijk and Matip.
Yep.
This leads me into another quick question. Actually, really quick while we're on centre back. Somebody else wants to know, why is it that Klavan seems to work better with Matip than Matip and Lovren?
Because Lovren can't read the game.
Because Lovren's an idiot.
Because Lovren's rubbish.
Lovren
I think that's the answer.
Can't read the game properly. He jumps into tackles and Klavan doesn't have the pace to recover his mistakes.
That's beautiful, lads. Thank you so much. I love that answer, nice and quick.
First big call. Right back. Trent or Klein?
Trent.
Oh, it's Terence Trent Derby all the way for me.
Trent.
Just.
Trent. Just.
Left back.
Robertson.
Depends.
Robertson.
Okay, go with elaborate on it depends.
I play Robertson in the league, but I'd still rather see James Milner there in the Champions League away from home.
I don't think that's going to happen. It looks like he's been promised he's not going back there. because he's just nowhere near. I think Moreno will probably play more in the cup games, but Champions League, I think he's still going to go for Robertson.
I'd play Moreno in the games against the so-called lesser teams as well. To be honest, I think it gives you that
stipulate away from home in the Champions League.
He did
for the majority of games. Yeah, Robertson.
Okay, so midfield. Emra's still not signed his contract. Is his head in the right place? Is Emra in the starting 11?
Yes.
He has to be, surely.
Mate, wherever his head is, it's in the perfect place. That performance on Sunday, oh my friggin' days.
It was amazing.
He absolutely, and I've been one of his biggest critics over the last year or so, but he has enough turned it around. That performance on Sunday,
that was a great performance.
Him and Genie, to be honest, were just off the charts. It was just crazy. So wherever his head is, mate, long may it stay there. Just sign a friggin' contract now.
So this is where it gets difficult, guys, because we've got a 3-man midfield. So if we're talking a fully fit squad, we've now got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Henderson, Milner, Ginny, and Lallana.
And Lemar. We've signed Lemar as well.
And Lemar at this point. So that's a tough call. Who take the other two positions?
Henderson.
Does Hendo get near it?
Hendo is, yeah.
Are we sure?
It's our best 11, I think, is the question here, is it? If we're not taking into account who we're playing, we're just saying best 11.
Yes, it's going to be Henderson or Genie.
Hendo plays.
Hendo or Genie for me. I don't know which one.
I can't see you sign Lemar and don't play him either. So Henderson, Chan, and Lemar for me. I can't see you not playing him.
I was going to say Lemar, Chan, Lemar, and Lallana.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, but are you putting Chan deepest again?
Yeah.
For me, come back to Sunday again. Chan, when he's box to box, that's when he's more effective. Yeah. I would go Chan, Hendo, and I don't know a lot about the kid, but you're probably not going to spend that amount of money if he's no good. It's I have scribbled down Lallana / Lemar, so I'd probably lean towards Lemar just for the amount of money that's been spent on him.
I think I'd go with Emre, Hendo / Genie, Lallana / Lemar.
Hendo strokes Genie.
Yeah, Hendo or
not
or
before
Bernardo.
Lallana strokes Lemar.
And then, what do you let's hope
is this in their contract or?
Oh mate!
If anyone's stroking anyone to that midfield, Lallana is stroking Hendo.
That's definitely true. That is definitely true. All right. Well, do you know what? The midfield's the hardest, isn't it? Because the front three, unless I've lost the plot, pretty much picks itself.
Look, we don't even have to say anything.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. So that
definitely Sturridge, Salah, and Mane. Definitely.
Well, to be fair, I mean, judging by that, I mean, we'll actually have quite a good bench, won't we? We'll either have
we will.
There'll be killings to make that bench.
Wijnaldum or Henderson. We'll either have Lallana, Lemar, Sturridge, Solanke. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else out as well.
Inzaghi when he comes back.
Inzaghi?
Just some breaking news there, folks. It looks like the Origi loan deal to Wolfsburg is done for $6 million plus wages.
We got stick off people for giving Origi a bit of abuse over the last few weeks. Do you know that?
Yeah, but yeah, that's really the end of it for me.
I think he'll do well over there as well. I mean, do you remember when we had wasn't Andre Voronin here? It was absolutely shocking. And then the next season, he was like top goal scorer in the Bundesliga.
I think the biggest one was Forlan, wasn't it? For United, absolutely awful in the Premier League, and he went to Atletico and he turned into another player.
He dumped us out of the Europa League or the UEFA Cup as well, didn't he?
I was there. That was painful.
Do you know what though? I agree with Phil. I've said this before as well. I think Origi is 2 or 3 years too early for Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the biggest shame was that absolute arsehole of a man that plays for Everton that took him out, because he was actually really finding his feet and he actually looked really, really good, and then.
He's nervous since he's come back from injury.
Yeah, he's not been the same. He's missing something. But I mean, he had patches where he was just really, really good. I mean, that finish at Bournemouth sticks out last season. He's got something in him, but like you say,
there was a moment that conversation ended though, because I remember for a couple of years it was all about Origi's potential, and we see glimmers of it, and when will we see more of it? And then eventually potential just turned into we were pissed off. Because it was almost like we'd gone from potential to frustration overnight. And I'm not quite sure what that date was, but I just remember suddenly, me included, everybody just went, I've had enough of this now.
Is there anybody else we see going out the door while we're on the subject?
Sacco, obviously.
Is he going to Crystal Palace? Are we all certain of that one?
I'd imagine so.
Yeah,
unless City come in for Evans last minute again.
I'm surprised he doesn't want to go to somewhere like Leicester, to be honest. But maybe
he said he wants Palace, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to settle there. It's London. It's near the.
It's that draw of London, isn't it? It's the big lights of London.
It's London, and it's the express train to Paris back home.
I haven't said who I hate today, so I'll bring this up. I absolutely hate London. I hate that place.
Jonathan, have you got the pen there to add that to the list?
Jesus, I ran out of paper here. Do you have another refill pad for me, please?
I'm gonna book. No, seriously, I can't stand that place. So why anybody has a pull to go to London is beyond me, because that place drives me fucking mental.
Scares the shit out of me, if I'm being honest. London. It's too busy. It's far too busy for me.
This is because I'm really paranoid. I am always walking the opposite direction to at least 100 people in London, and that pisses me off.
It's a very unique place, let's put it that way.
Yeah, unique. Divock Origi's a unique.
That's my ego. Bishkek was unique.
What type of money are we expecting? Are we thinking we're getting this 30 that we're holding out for?
With add-ons, yeah.
It'll be with add-ons, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Anybody else we're expecting to go out? Wasn't there talk of a loan for Kent, maybe?
Yeah, it's those youngsters, isn't it? You know, a couple of last minute loan deals. When does the loan window is another couple of days, isn't it?
Danny Ings should go out on loan, in my opinion.
Something needs to be done. He deserves something.
Just some more breaking news now. Joe Gomez appointed as New England under-21 captain. Forgot about him earlier.
Congratulations.
Forgot about him earlier. He played well on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
Very good game, yeah. Excellent game.
Congratulations to him.
I don't actually remember. Thinking about this squad now that we've just picked our best 11, if you want to call it that. I don't actually remember the last time we had a bench as strong as that bench will be.
It's brilliant. And then you add Keita into that next year as well with another one or two signings, and we're at that stage where we're no longer having to bring in 5 and 6 players every year. We're bringing in that 1, 2, possibly 3 creme de la creme, really top level footballers just to strengthen and freshen up the squad.
I mean, here's a question for you guys. Why do you think Emre's not signing?
Oh, I brought this up on Twitter. I see if it's a damn fine question, mate.
It's Keita.
You think?
Yeah, we were talking about this.
I never once believed it was about money with him, to be fair.
No, I don't think so either.
But if you compare the styles, surely him and Keita would play very well together. You'd think.
Just seeing, while we're talking about news, I'm on Twitter at the moment, and I've just seen a cheeky picture, obviously a very sneaky picture of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in a Liverpool kit.
In the lift. Yeah.
In the lift, yeah.
Asif, to get back to your question, I just want to kind of flip it around to you and ask. I have this mad theory in my head that it's him or Henderson in that squad. And I just wonder at times if Klopp would side with the potential and the consistency of Emre or Henderson, what he is capable of reaching. I just have it in my head that it's one or the other, and I think that's causing an issue for Chan.
I think the biggest thing with Hendo is his injuries. I mean, I'm one of his biggest fans. I don't care what anyone says. You know, there's a lot of people that hate him, but I cannot understand these people, to be honest. He's obviously suffering with the injury. Obviously, it's a long-term injury. But that's the thing. If he's not going to get over that injury, surely it has to be Chan. It has to be, especially if he keeps playing the way that he's playing, because he's developing. How much more is Henderson actually going to develop? I mean, Emre over the last 12 or 6 months has gone from A to friggin', I don't know, 11 OP sort of thing in the alphabet. He's been that good, and he's only going to get better if you consider how young he is.
See, I also question his work ethic, and I don't just mean on the pitch now, and I'll probably get shot down for this, but the fact that at his age, working for a fellow national in his manager, in a squad that he's clearly valuable to, in a role that is pretty much his, in a starting 11 that he is almost, bar a couple of really terrible performances, is guaranteed a spot to start in, to even be considering going to Italy, for me, smacks of he wants an easier time. He likes to be a superstar. He likes to look good and do well, but actually he'd prefer to look even better in a lesser league, and that's no disrespect to the Italian league. I've got a lot of time for the Italian league, but it's not the Premier League. The Premier League, any team can beat anyone on their given day. The same cannot be said of Italy.
I don't know what his reasons are. I mean, obviously, that's an interesting theory there. But one thing is clear: it's baffling. I mean, like I said, I put that question up earlier on Twitter, and people said things. What you guys just said about position, Henderson, Keita. As you just very rightly said there, mate, why would you want to leave? You've got a manager who clearly believes in you. We were talking about captains earlier. I'm sure he's not too far down that list. It's just really, really weird. I mean, some people on here, some reliable folks on Twitter, such as Graham Kelly, etc., said that it had been agreed after the Confederations Cup. So it's been agreed. It's about a month or so on. I mean, are they trying to tie the announcement in with Van Dijk and everything else to make it look even better, or something's just?
Do you follow
weird.
up? Do you follow up Coutinho leaving with some more good news? Because seems there's been no more transfers after Coutinho leaving.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
I just thought of that there this second as Asif was making his points.
What do they call it in it's like some management 101 thing, a bullshit sandwich, where you have some good news, some really shit news, and then some more good news to kind of soften the shit news.
Mate,
maybe that's it. Look at our signings. Oh shit.
Would it feel like another signing?
Phil's gone.
Would it feel like we found somebody else?
If he keeps playing the way that he does, yeah, because this isn't the same Emery that played 6 months ago.
No, it's certainly not.
I honestly was blown away by his performance at the weekend, it was just really strange watching him.
Can we imagine that the club would let it go this long? If the club didn't think he was going to sign, are we happy that the club will let him sign a pre-contract to go abroad in January?
No way.
No,
I mean, sure.
See, I was thinking about exactly this and thinking to myself, well, so a couple of things. Number one, surely we'd do what Arsenal have done with Alex and we'd sell and get some money while we've got the chance to get some money if we know for certain that he's not staying. I would question exactly what's going on with the club if that was to happen, because you'd look at transfers and you'd say, fantastic. You'd say really, really good. This is exactly what we need. But then if Emma then is allowed to leave, do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't, the two don't add up, do they? That new players are desperate to come because of the exciting times ahead at Anfield, but one of our best young players wants to leave. The two just don't go together.
No, it doesn't. So something's not quite as it seems at the minute.
It's a situation that greatly worries me, because on one hand, from a business point of view, I can understand if it was a situation where Klopp said, look, I don't care if he's not going to sign a new contract. I want him for the year. We only spent 10 million on him. I want him to see out this year, because the year he's going to have will be more valuable to us than the... He will get us through basically to Keita comes, is where I'm coming at. We've just received some good news, Jonathan.
We have just to echo on what we've said earlier. So stand by for a busy day tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I think I'm just gonna, when it happens tomorrow, I think I'm gonna just jump off of my desk and just fuck the laptop in the corner and just walk out of that room. Do you know, like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street, where he just opens his arms and just spreads it out and say, I'm not fucking going anywhere.
I've got full on. I've got full on McGregor gif. Doubt me now. Ready.
Brilliant, yeah.
For tomorrow, yeah. So basically, what we're getting at is we're absolutely 100% categorically saying that Virgil van Dijk will be a Liverpool player by 11 p.m. tomorrow. No, doesn't get any clearer than that, folks, does it?
The podcast tomorrow will be called "We Told You So."
Yeah, and also from other little bits and pieces that we're hearing, it's tough to say what to come out here, but yeah, going on what we spoke about earlier, did I give my point on Coutinho? But I believe he's gone as well.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely believe he's gone.
Wait, do you know what? Just for everybody listening to try to understand what's going on here, there's messages flying around left, right, and centre from people that we've been waiting a long time to hear from today, and we're all very excited about it. But we're also trying to be very, very careful as to what we say, because there's only so many times that somebody tells you something in confidence and you declare it on a fucking online podcast that they continue to tell you stuff. All we'll say is, for anybody that listens to the show will know that I'm a negative bastard and I hate everybody, and I'm really excited about tomorrow. I am looking forward to tomorrow a lot.
There's a lot of smirking going on here. Let's just put it that
way. Mate, if what happens, if it happens, I think tomorrow will be a great day to be a Liverpool fan.
Get yourselves into town, make your plans, get them babysitters ready, get the money out of the ATM. Time to go drinking, folks.
Yep, I think the only people that will be upset are those absolutely moronic, clueless FSG outlaw.
But then
I don't know, Matt Letizia is going to be a bit upset.
He's going to get what's coming his way. But then the sad part is you get to wake up on Friday with a hangover and realise Coutinho's off.
But it's okay, Emery will sign a new contract and everything will be okay.
Crash down to it.
Oh, mate, it's all about the game.
We're basically conducting our business like we play important games. Just scaring the shit out of fans at every turn.
It's funny, I tweeted a picture of Triple H the other day, the wrestler. This little thing, it's all about the game. And that's what it is with FSG. It's all about the game. I think that's the bit that just, you know what, just play it down a bit. We're not idiots. But, fair dues to them this window if everything pulls off the way it does. It's what we wanted. It's all what genuine, real fans wanted. It's not about them in, not about them out. I'm sorry, I've got to say this again because of the amount of crap that I've taken over the last.
It's about the club.
It's about the club. It always has been, and the amount of idiots that are out there that just want to prove their point one way or the other. It absolutely beggars belief, as you guys found out this week. At the end of the day, you share something, you post something out in good confidence because and Paul Graham got it all summer. I think he's due a few apologies. At the end of the day, we love the club. And if you're still upset tomorrow evening or Friday, assuming that Liverpool have done the business that we think that they are going to do, and you're still upset, go find another fucking club. I mean, this club is not for you. At the end of the day, it really is that simple.
We're sure Graham will get a platform to get his points across and get things out. He's a good lad, and as you said, we've had him on the podcast previously, and he's been very nice and open with us, and he's been, as you said, getting a lot of abuse, but so have a lot of other people, and he stuck to his guns, so that's all you can say about anybody that puts anything up. If you stick to your guns, if you hold your hands up if things go wrong, things change.
Mate, Twitter is all about opinions as well, and there's only so much you can say in the amount of characters that you have on there. And it's just, like you say, it is a bit of a sore point in a way. It's people don't like debates; they'll just jump straight to abuse, as you guys found out this week. It's I say it can be a crazy, crazy place, but again, staying positive. Over the last week or so, it's had some moments where you just can't stop friggin' refreshing.
Best transfer window ever in regards to really fun and rumour and fucking madness. It's just been the best window, yeah.
That's not a bad place to start wrapping this up. I'm gonna end by asking you both one question about, let's say we get all the players that we are hoping to get. Craig, I'll come to you first. Who are you most excited about us signing?
Virgil van fucking Dijk.
Is this even a question?
I would sacrifice so many people for him.
Here's the trick then. Let's make this harder. You can't have the same player twice. Jono, I'm coming to you. Can't have Van Dijk.
Can't have Van Dijk? But that's not fair. That's all I want. So what was the question again? I got just started. So
which player are you most excited about? Who you most chuffed that we've signed? If we sign all the players we're talking about signing, so i.e. Lemar, Van Dijk, and obviously
I don't know enough about Lemar to make a judgment on that, but I would go Salah, just what he's added to the team.
I was just going to say that you've stolen my one as well. I've got to think of somebody else now.
you'll be left. You'll be left with Robertson or the new reserve goalie we signed.
What about Milner as a central midfielder?
You can have Milner as a new
3 minutes 49 seconds.
Emma when he signs his contract. No, go on, Asif. Who do you think, mate? Who do you reckon's gonna shine?
In time, I think Solanke. obviously, because I can't say the other two. I don't know. I think
he's a great shout.
I think there's something where he just an out number 9. He's got some great movement, and I just think he's really, really going to surprise a few people in regards to how good he actually becomes.
My God, we really have pissed off Chelsea during this transfer window. The more I think about
great, isn't it? It's awesome.
Mate, what a time to be alive.
Absolutely. It's usually the other way around. Jesus.
Phil, you're left with absolutely nobody now, really, buddy. So who's your highlight of the transfer window?
I did it to myself, didn't I? Don't want to go Robertson. Do you know what? I haven't seen a great deal of him either, but I'm going to say Lemar, because if you're spending that much money on somebody that age that's wanted by the clubs that he's wanted by, you're doing something right. So let's see. But actually, I'm most excited. I'm going to cheat. I'm going for Keita. I'm most excited about the fact we've done the Naby Keita deal. I'm actually really looking forward to tomorrow's pod as well. Really looking forward to tomorrow's pod.
It's going to be absolutely buzzing, isn't it?
You're going to wear a yellow tie?
Of course. Isn't that the protocol?
Yellow or orange?
No,
it has to be yellow.
It has to be yellow.
We get a video of Phil coming up the steps and all, microphone in hand, suit jacket on.
Yeah, and he won't. He'll have the shirt, he'll have the tie, maybe the jacket, and he'll be sat in his boxers then as well.
Can I be Kirsty Gallagher?
Just get 2 beach balls there and stuck to it. You'll be sorted.
Oh dear. No, listen, I'm buzzing for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. I'm going to go and continue to watch Sky Sports until my eyes can't stay open anymore, and then I'll fall asleep and watch it again when I wake up. So very big day for Liverpool tomorrow. Super excited. Can't wait to be doing the pod. Hope you guys can join us for that and enjoy that too. Thank you so much to all my guests. Asif, as always, mate. Absolute pleasure. Up the Reds, and let's see what happens tomorrow. Have a good night, Reds.
Adios.